Let's move on to Thursday night action. Utah State Aggies, 0-2 in the Mountain West at Nevada Wolfpack. As I said off the top of the show, I already got in at minus 14.5 and minus 110. I watched that game against San Diego State, and I lost my first half bet, and it was just ridiculous. 2 missed field goals, a Utah State bomb with no time left on the clock, and it was about as angry as I've been. I had the full game, and then I did get in live because I was just – Utah State was so much worse than San Diego State, but you have to look at these 2 games that Utah State just went on and think that they have a chance to keep this one close. They just played the best 2 teams in the conference in Boise State and San Diego State, and I like when teams start off with real tough opposition. Now, that didn't help the Houston Texans in the NFL this year. It's not just always going to help when you play against the best teams, but I think it helps Utah State here. I got in at 14.5. There are 16.5s on the board. I bet you this gets to 18, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be this high. Reno, Nevada, 71 Fahrenheit, clear 7 miles per hour is the wind. Coming off that 38-7 loss at home to San Diego State. They're struggling to get over the loss to Jordan Love. Jason Shelley, 56.3%. He's thrown for just 180 yards in 2 games, averaging just under 4 yards an attempt. Leading rusher Jalen Warren's doing nothing at all to help. 89 yards, 3.9 average in 2 games. And Nevada coming off 37-19 win at UNLV. We all know how bad they are. Carson Strong, 60-79 for 770 yards and 6 TDs. And the only thing Utah State is good at is their pass defense. So I want this to get high, and when this gets high, I'm going to middle this. I really think that is my plan, and that is the play here. Let's get started. We're talking about the Nevada Wolfpack. Let's go to a Vegas resident, CMAC. What do you think of this spot? They're now 16.5-point favorites, and this total at 55.5.
Yeah, I like Utah State in the points, and I think it goes up. I think Reno, they're not that good. They played a kind of unreal game against Wyoming. I think Wyoming was caught off guard a little bit. And like you said, UNR can move it. They can throw it. And Utah State's best thing, because they're going to still have struggles on offense, Utah State. They just don't have it. But I think they could keep it close. And if their pass defense can kind of hang in there, because this is, for the Mountain West, it's a pretty good UNR is pass offense. But I'd gobble the points here too. It's too many. And I think, like you said, I think it goes a little higher as well as the week goes on. A little bit next few days. Sorry.
This is a middle, and I think your breakdown's bang on. Let's go over to Noli Knows. Noli Knows if Utah State's pass defense is their best weapon, Nevada wants to move the ball through the air. Is this an under?
I question whether or not their pass defense is that great. I mean, You look at the last game against San Diego State, their last 4 touchdowns, they threw the ball 3 or 4 times. You know, they weren't throwing the ball. They were finding success through the ground, so why do anything else? They ran the ball over 50 times against them, and they were succeeding. They throw 2 different bells at them. They're both doing whatever they wanted against Utah State. And there's not a lot to like from the quarterback. He threw up that one pass, and it was lucky. I feel bad for you, Jim. I really did. I knew you were on there. But, you know, he's 27 of 48. 27 of 48 for 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And on the other side, Carson Strong has looked really good. I mean, the guy's been lights out, 77.8 completion percentage. I mean, the guy's got 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and I expected them to come out hot. You know, their experience, and that's what's gonna have the advantage here. I mean, they might have surprised Wyoming a little bit, but Wyoming had a lot of question marks, and being that it was game 1, I can understand that maybe they over-excelled in that game. But here for Utah State, I mean, yeah, they lost their quarterback, but they lost their number 1 running back. They lost their number 1 receiver. They lost a lot more than just
Can they move it? Yeah.
You know, so I don't expect them to really move the ball. There's nothing that I've seen to lead me to believe that they can hang with with Nevada. Nevada's been looking really strong, and I expect them to continue that. As far as the total, I think the total is really close. I expect similar game, 34 points in back-to-back games, and I expect that trend to continue. I think they put up over 30 points.
Interesting breakdown. Let's hear what John Ryan has to say. Utah State, Nevada Wolfpack.
Well, I think the line is inflated, and for good reason, based on Utah State's first 2 games. One thing I do look at is the ATS margin. So much like margin and straight up, losses, ATS is very revealing too. And Utah State lost by 12 to the spread in the first game. And then they lost by 22 and a half in the second game. So that's underperforming the expectations, of the betting public, so to speak, by a pretty large margin. Nevada has been involved in games. They're 2-0 against the spread, but they haven't covered by a lot. They covered by half a point against Wyoming. And actually in our show, we were talking about Wyoming, and that was +4, +3.5, and money came in on Wyoming. So that's not even a fair reflection there either. And then at UNLV this last week, they covered by 4. So we know what Nevada is, I think. We don't know how bad Utah State is. So there's definitely extra points taking Utah State this week. I want to see another game from them, only because they haven't been anywhere close to covering a number yet.
And Ben Sports giving us the exact number of their passing defense against Boise: 279 yards passing against Boise State. And we're going to talk. Is Boise BYU next? No, that's on Friday. So we're still on Thursday's action. But that was. Now you can say that part of that was just because it was Boise's first game of the year, but I think that showed something. It showed something. I want this to go up, and I'm going to have some interest in trying to. So, Paco Healy likes the under as well. Mississippi Kid in the house, thanks for joining us. Mississippi Kid is agreeing with Ben Sports 24/7, who says that this defense for the Aggies isn't as bad as y'all making it out to be. And DJ Big Boss says offense at Utah State is bad with 4 Ds. Yes, ugly. All right, that is the 7 p.m. game.